Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are from in the whole wide world. Yes, it's your man Pixie with another interview video, and this time we've got expat Mazza on.
Hello, Chris.
Good afternoon to you. How are you in sunny Spain?
As you can see, Chris, it is lovely.
First question of the day is, how did you get into YouTube and why?
Good question, that, Chris. Now, back in 2009, I started up a YouTube account, and I think I called it Low-Level Aerial Photography. I set up a small photography business. I'd gotten onto the idea of using a telescopic mask with a camera on top, so the camera went up to 50 foot up in the air. I had a cable attached to that camera, and really the videos were more of trying to promote my channel, which didn't get a lot of response, I'll be honest, and I never really paid much attention. And I think over the next 2 or 3 years I probably made about 6 videos, if that. And that was really the main reason why I set up YouTube. I had no ideas about, I think back in those days as well, YouTube was still maybe quite small, maybe, I don't know. The celebrity side of it didn't really kick off until, I don't know, about 3 years ago, I suppose. But for me, it was just more of a trying to promote my business, which didn't get a lot of response. I didn't get a lot of subscribers at that period.
Why did you go and live in Spain? Everybody probably thinks it's for the lovely hot weather, which is what my guess is too. But tell me your thoughts on why you moved to Spain.
Well, my folks had lived in Spain since the 80s, really, so I've always come to Spain, but down in the south of Spain near Malaga, that's where they lived, and I'd seen Spain sort of go from, I would say Spain's like 20 years behind the UK at that period. There wasn't a lot of roads. Malaga was a nice big city, but wasn't much, it wasn't much going on, and then it suddenly expanded. But during that time of visiting them, obviously the weather, and I still say the weather is the main thing why I moved there. I'd always thought about living there, and I managed to convince my wife about 10 years ago. So we started coming out to Spain, looking at places, and we've ended up here.
How many drones do you own altogether?
How many drones? Wow. If I don't include the ones that I've lost and crashed, then at the moment I've got my and they're all DJI drones, I must say. I've started off with DJI drones, so I've got my Phantom 3 standard. And I also got my DJI Phantom 2 Vision Plus. I think that's correct. Don't use that at all now, really. The app on that is just too buggy. But I use my Phantom 3 standard still. I use my Phantom 3 Advanced, and I've bought myself recently a DJI Spark. So we're talking 1, 2, 3. So I've got 4 drones at the moment. 3 are in use, and 1 is sort of I've just kept it as a trophy, really.
What drone would you think is the best for somebody starting out using a drone for the first time?
It's a hard one, that, Chris. I would have said last year, I would have said still the DJI Phantom 3 standard, mainly because cost. It's very cheap, but unfortunately DJI have stopped making these drones now, and I would imagine this year will probably be a game changer on the app as well, the DJI Go app as well, to fly them. They haven't done an update actually on the drone for nearly 2 years now, so I think for a first time drone it all depends on what you want to pay, really. Cost. The Spark's a very good drone. I think any limitations with the Spark that I see is obviously distance, the quality of the camera for photographs. I wouldn't say it's brilliant, but still a great little drone. I mean, for portability, amazing little drone, the Spark. But there are some other new drones out there at the moment. I've been with my fellow drone seekers. There's a guy in America called Marcus. He's been trying out a drone called Zino. It's a 4K drone, It's a foldable drone, and from what I've seen lately, like with all these new drones that come out, they always have slight problems. So look around, it's what you can afford really, but don't go out and buy the most expensive drone going, which obviously at the moment is the, my dog's barking now. She's been a bit bossy. Bonnie?
What are your goals for 2019 here on YouTube?
Well, as you probably well know, I've split my channel in half now. So I've got my expat and Mazaron, which I've been going for years. I've got my Drone Seekers channel, which I started up just the end of last year. That's going along nicely. So my goal really is for my Drone Seekers channel to get 1,000 subscribers by Easter. I think maybe maybe that was a bit optimistic. Maybe that's going to be a bit difficult now. I've got over 200 now. I've got a couple more months to go. So unless something really happens, I might not reach that goal. But that's my goal. You've always got to set goals, guys. Now with my expat and Mazaron, because I split the channel in half now, I've kept my expat and Mazaron to my Spanish way of life really, and that's doing really well now. I think making the split, at first I thought maybe it wasn't a good idea, but now I can see it's been a good idea. I find making the drone videos really easy. Making the Spanish videos is a bit more work going into it. So my goal for my expat and Mazaron, I've got over 6,000. So my goal really for expat by the end of this year is maybe 10,000 subscribers. Is that a lot to ask for? But you've got to set your goals, guys. So yeah, and my Drone Seekers, I'm hoping by Easter, may not looking so good, but I'm still aiming for 1,000 subscribers by Easter on my Drone Seekers. So that's my goals.
What do you consider to be the best drone? The Mavic or the Phantom?
If you asked me that last year, Chris, I would have said straight away, I still think the Phantom. But now, I'll be honest, the guys that come over from the UK, yeah, it's the Mavic. And if I had the money, guys, I would go and buy a Mavic myself. Even the Mavic Pro that's been out for a couple of years now, amazing machine. You can do so many things on it, especially for slowing the film down, for speeding it up, the quality of the picture. It's this really stable drone, and the controls, and this is what it convinced me, it was the control. You've got so much more control on the Phantoms than you have the Standard. With the Standard, I noticed you have to play with the sticks a little bit just to keep it stable. But with the Mavic, you've only got to touch those sticks, and that drone is so, well, it just goes with the sticks. Now, I've seen the Mavic 2, both amazing drones, whatever. I can see, you know, the zoom being really handy for some certain, this is what I mean, these drones are made for certain things. The Mavic 2 zoom, the Mavic 2 zoom, I should say, is amazing. That zoom, yeah. But also the Hasselblad Mavic Pro, no, the Mavic 2 Pro, the picture quality on that, that blows my mind away. I didn't think you could get a better picture. Now, I don't know about all these other drones that are on the market at the moment. I think the Auto Evo, I've seen some fantastic work with that, but there's not enough of it about. Obviously, that's the thing, DJI have got the market. Yeah, I would say the Mavic.
Would you recommend using filters in your drone videos for pictures and or video?
If you ever watch any of my videos, I always bang on about I don't like using filters, especially here in Spain. Obviously, we've got this bright light. I don't like. It's like I'm a photographer as well, and with filters, once you put them on, you can't really do anything much more in editing, really. Once those filters are on, they make it darker, lighter, colour, whatever. Once it's in edit, there's not a lot you can do. But if they're not on, you can do quite a bit in post edit. You know, you can add filters onto your software. What I tend to do, I always fly with the sun behind me when I'm doing my drone. Obviously the picture quality is a lot better. I find that obviously a sunny day is far better than a dull or cloudy day. There has been instances where maybe a filter would have been a good idea, because there are times when you do have to fly towards the sun, depending on where you are that time of day. And of course you get this flickering effect, whereas the ND filter would take out the flickering effect. But mostly I don't like them. But like all things, I have got ND filters, but I don't like using them. That's my preference. Maybe not anybody else's, but for me, no, I don't like using ND filters. Everything you see on my videos, virtually everything is in auto. Now that probably going to be difficult with the newer drones, especially the Mavic 2s. To me, with the newer drones, you're going to have to do a lot more setting the settings, put it into 60 frames, not using manual a bit more, whereas the older drones like the Phantoms and that, I used to find stick it in auto, does a great vid.
And final question of the day, what advice would you give somebody that is starting out with a drone for the very first time?
Another good question that, Chris. Now I've been doing drone footage now for well over 5 years, so I've whittled it down. And I know it's easy for people to put a video up of 20 minutes of flight, but to be honest, people do get a bit fed up with it really. Can I say the word boring? When I first started doing videos with drones, I was amazed. I had a Phantom 1, I used to have a GoPro underneath it. It used to shake like anything. I had about 150 subscribers, I suppose, at that time. I didn't care what they thought, but if you want to build your channel, you've got to make it a little bit interesting. Now, I think at the end of the day, you've got to stand in front of that camera and introduce it, because people want to see who's behind that camera. They want to see what drone you're flying. They want to see where you're going, what you're up to in that video. It's hard. Now, if you don't want to stand in front of the video, then the next thing you can do is to cut up that video, put in some other shot, put some ground shots in. If you're going out to a wood, start off with you starting your day, maybe making a cup of tea, you know. Give it a little bit of interest, walking down the footpath. If there's some birds or something, take some pictures of those. But do short clips, mix the video up a bit. That's what I do. I just cut it to hell. I mean, I probably have about 40 minutes of drone footage, and out of that 40 minutes, I've probably got about 10 minutes, and I cut it again. Add your music. I know it's another hard thing to do, but it takes time, and I think that's the main thing. Don't rush at it. The more videos you make, the more easy it will become. It doesn't happen overnight. My channel was just going along at 30 subscribers. I bought my drone. There was an interest in drones at that period because drones were just starting to take off. But I wasn't really interested in it at that time. What my interest was and what snowballed my channel was crop circles. My viewers went from 100 to 500, well, nearly 500, and then I moved to Spain, and obviously my Spanish thing. So yeah, just try not to put up a whole 20 minutes of your flight. Just before I end, I just want to make it clear, guys, that I run 2 channels. Now at the moment, you're looking at Expat and Mazaron, and what I've done now, I'm not doing any more drone footage at all on my Expat and Mazaron. It's all going to be about where I live here in Spain. So what I have done, I've started up another channel on YouTube called Drone Seekers. That's all about drones. So hopefully Chris will put a link below. Go over to that if you want just to see drone stuff. If you want to see about my life here in Spain, then stick with this channel. But as I always say to everybody, keep watching, because you just don't know what I'm going to bring out next. Anyway, I want to thank you, Chris.